Week 7 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers I look to sell and trade this week. The first guy, Chris Bassitt of the Toronto Blue Jays. So Chris Bassitt in the offseason, the New York Mets didn't want him back, and right now he's paying good dividends for this Toronto Blue Jay team and coming off a complete game shutout versus one of the best offenses in the league, the Atlanta Braves. On the season for Bassitt, 49 innings, 5-2 record, 41 Ks at 3.49 ERA, a 1.08 whip, and 6 quality starts, which is amongst the league leaders this season. In the last couple weeks for him, 16 innings, 2-0 record, 13 Ks, no runs, 0.75 whip, and 2 quality starts. So Chris Bassitt, he's been a decent pitcher over the last few seasons, going back to his Oakland Athletic days in 2020, 2021. Then last season with the Mets, he was pretty solid overall, 15-9 with a 3.42. And right now he's been good for the Toronto Blue Jays, but he's pitching a little bit over his head, especially coming off a complete game shutout, like I mentioned, versus an offense like the Atlanta Braves. His next matchup's here today versus the New York Yankees, which obviously they're on fire. They're hitting the baseball great. And who knows if Bassitt could keep up this good pitching at this rate, especially in a tough division and a hitter's ballpark like Toronto's. April 30th versus Seattle, 5 innings, no decision. 2 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 7 Ks. May 5th at the Pirates, 7 innings, got the win. 4 walks, 5 Ks, 4 hits, no runs, a quality start. And then May 12th, the complete game shutout versus the Atlanta Braves. 2-hitter, 2 walks, 8 Ks, and obviously the quality start. So right now he's playing great baseball. No doubt about it, is Chris Bassitt. But the walks have been up for him of late this season. In the last 3 games, 10 walks, so that definitely could be an issue. And a team like the New York Yankees that are hitting for massive power, just like the Braves are as well, even though he shut them out, I think this Yankee team could get to Bassitt. So right now, well, he's had 2 good starts in a row, and the complete game shutout, like I mentioned, it's a perfect time to sell them high. I'm not just going to sell these guys and trade them away for anything, but if the right deal's out there, this is a time to sell Bassitt because he's been an up-and-down pitcher throughout his career. Even though the last couple seasons he's been pretty consistent. The next guy is Charlie Morton of the Atlanta Braves. So Charlie Morton, it seems like the other shoe's always going to drop, but Morton just keeps it going year after year. Last season, got off to the slow start, still finished the year with 205 strikeouts. The ERA wasn't great, a 4.34. Still contribute, and he was on one of the best teams regular season with the Braves. And so far this year, he's off to a way better start than he was last year. 47 in the third, 5-3 record, 49 Ks, a 2.85 ERA, 1.37 whip, and 5 quality starts. So Morton's strikeouts are definitely down, but the ERA is down as well, 1.5 at least for Charlie Morton. In the last couple weeks, he's been lights out, 2-0 record, 12 2/3, 17 Ks, a 1.42 ERA, 1.18 whip, and 2 quality starts. So this Brave team, they might ask more out of Morton. Obviously, with the injuries in the rotation, with Kyle Wright out a few months now, Max Fried, he's probably going to miss a month or 2 at least. And they might have to extend Morton a little bit. So right now, Morton's been going a little deeper into ball games the last couple outings here. And I know this Atlanta Brave team, they're a great hitting team, but their pitching's definitely been a problem for them over the last few weeks. And Morton's been pitching good, especially the last 2 outings. May 1st at the Mets, 5 1/3, got the loss, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks. May 9th versus the Red Sox, a nice bounce back, 6 innings, got the win. 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks, a quality start. May 15th had a great hitting lineup like the Rangers, 6 2/3, got the win, 7 hits, no runs, a walk, and 10 Ks. So the last 3 outings, strikeouts have definitely been back on that great radar, 23 Ks in the last 3 games here for Charlie Morton. But right now, I think you could get a good bat for him. I think this ERA is a little bit lower than we should expect here from Charlie Morton, up there in age. And you're versing tough hitting teams more nights than not. We're versing every team this season, and the NL East having good hitting teams obviously in it as well. So right now, Morton, the last 2 outings really played great baseball. He's a perfect sell high pitcher this week. The next guy, Bryce Miller of the Seattle Mariners. So far, he's most likely the pickup of the season is Bryce Miller in his first career starts. And to be honest, he's versed pretty easy hitting teams beside the Astros in his first 3 outings. So Miller on the season, 19 innings, 2-0 record, 18 Ks, and 0.47 ERA, 0.42 whip, and 3 quality starts. So right now, Miller, he's at peak value. Top prospect coming up through the system, pitching for the Seattle Mariners team. And he's mowing through lineups. But like I said, Oakland, one of the worst hitting teams, and the Tigers are mixed in there as well. So right now, while Miller's taking the league by storm, and has been one of the best pitchers in fantasy baseball. He's definitely a sell-high guy this week. I'm not saying this can continue, but for the whole season at this rate, I just don't see it. And he's going to get a true test May 19th at the Atlanta Braves, that obviously are one of the best hitting teams in the league. So May 2nd, his first career outing versus the A's, 6 innings, no decision, 2 hits, a run, 10 Ks, a quality start. May 7th versus the Astros, 6 innings, got the win, 2 hits, a walk, 5 Ks, a quality start. On May 13th at the Tigers, 7 innings, got the win, 3 hits, no runs, 3 Ks in that one, and a quality start. So right now, Bryce Miller only 1 run given up in the first 3 outings of his major league career. And his value, like I said, is a peak. He can't get any better than he is right now for this Seattle Mariners team. So right now, while he's going out there and pitching gems, and his first test is coming at the Atlanta Braves, to be honest, I think you could get a decent starter and a bat in a deal for a pitching starved team in your league right now. So right now, while Bryce Miller is taking the league by storm and he's due to cool off a little bit at least, this is a perfect time to sell him off this week. Next guy, Eduardo Rodriguez of the Detroit Tigers. So Rodriguez, the last couple seasons have been tough for him, but this season he's coming out and he's looked like the best lefty pitcher in fantasy baseball this year. So Rodriguez on the season, 4-2 record, 51 2/3, 47 Ks, a 1.57 ERA, 0.79 WHIP, and 5 quality starts. So last season he was 5-5 with a 4.05 ERA, and already this season he's pretty much done way better than he has over the last 2 seasons. 2020 was a bad year for him. He had illness off the field. 21 he didn't do much. And then last season, mediocre to poor season. So right now he's going out there. When teams now in the last 2 weeks, 15 innings, 2-0 record, 17 Ks, no runs given up, an 0.60 whip, and 2 quality starts. And right now, versus good hitting teams, he's gone out there as well. And he's proven he's not a fluke as Rodriguez. But I just don't see him at this level keeping this up, these huge numbers. So right now, definitely a big bat you could get in the deal for Rodriguez. And he's also on a Detroit Tiger team that's not going to have a lot of run support as the season goes on. They're one of the worst hitting teams in the league. So right now, while Rodriguez, everything is clicking for him. He's going 7-8 innings per game and pitching great baseball. And has another great matchup here today versus a weak hitting Pirate team. After this start, I think he could get a good bat and a solid pitcher in the deal for him. That's how good he's been. And pitching's been tough to find this season in fantasy baseball. April 29th versus the O's, 5 2/3, got the win. 4 hits, a run, 2 walks, 5 Ks. May 4th versus the Mets, he mowed him down. 8 innings, got the win. No runs, 2 hits, a walk, 9 Ks, a quality start. And May 10th at the Guardians, 7 innings, got the win, 4 hits. No runs again, 2 walks, 8 Ks, a quality start. So right now, the last 2 outings, no runs given up. Wouldn't be surprising to me if we see him here versus the Pirates today, have another great outing. Obviously, is Eduardo Rodriguez. And then after that, he's a guy to sell high because I just don't see it continuing. He's not going to get a lot of run support. And like I said, some matchups have been pretty easy of late. And not every matchup is going to be an easy one for him. So right now, while he's pitching lights out and one of the best pitchers in fantasy this season, he's a perfect sell-high candidate. And the 5th and final pitcher I look to sell and trade this week here is Michael Wacha of the San Diego Padres. So Wacha last season was solid with the Boston Red Sox. And right now, he's only owned surprisingly in 35% of fantasy leagues. But the last 2 or 3 outings, he's gone out there and put up big numbers. And he did carry a no-hitter into the 8th inning versus the Royals in his last outing. So on the season for Wacha, 44 1/3, 4-1 record, 41 Ks, a 4.06 ERA, 1.17 whip, and 4 quality starts. And over the last couple weeks here, 2-0 record, 19 innings, 18 Ks, and 0.47 ERA, 0.63 whip, and 3 quality starts. So right now we know he's on a good San Diego Padre team that's going to give him good run support. Even though this Padre team's been struggling this season and of late getting swept by the Los Angeles Dodgers. But right now, Michael Wacha last season was solid, like I said, with the Boston Red Sox. And so far, besides 2 outings, he's been good in the other outings he's had this season. So the last few games for Wacha, May 2nd versus the Reds, 6 innings, no decision, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks, a quality start. May 9th in Minnesota, 6 innings, got the win, 3 hits, a run, 3 walks, 4 Ks, a quality start. And then May 15th versus the Royals, he mowed them down, 7 innings, got the win, 1 hit, no run, a walk, 11 Ks, a quality start. So Wacha, he's not known for the high K rate. Those 11 Ks were obviously a fluky thing, in my opinion, this week here in that ball game versus the Royals. But he's going out there. He's been in innings either the last few seasons, and health has been a concern for him going back 3-4 years ago with the Mets and the Tampa Bay Rays, but last season and this season so far he's been healthy. He's been pitching good, but I just don't see him keeping it up. So right now, a guy to pick up off the wire pretty much and to flip him in a deal for a hitter is a nice trade for fantasy owners. So right now, while Walker has been one of the better pitchers over the last few weeks in fantasy baseball, it's a perfect time to sell him off because as the matchups get a little bit tougher, because he's had 3 easy matchups for the most part versus the Reds, Twins, and the Royals, bottom half of hitting teams in the league, in my opinion. It's a perfect time to sell him high because he'll get tougher matchups, obviously, with the Dodgers in the division, games at Coors Field, and out of division matchups like versus the Braves and good hitting teams like that. So right now, Walker is a perfect sell high candidate this week. So that's a few pitchers I look to sell and trade here for week 7 of the fantasy baseball season.